So, good morning. The second year, first year Bcom computer applications semester 2. అలాగే ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ BA సెమిస్టర్ 2 ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఇన్ C++ అండ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఇన్ C అండ్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ BA సెమిస్టర్ 1 అండ్ సెకండ్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ Bcom semester 2 programming in C++. So we discuss about UNIT-2, that is important essay type question is control structures or control statements in C. It is a compulsory essay type question. నిన్న చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ అనేవి కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఆర్ కంట్రోల్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఆర్ కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఆర్ యూజ్డ్ టు కంట్రోల్ ద flow of a programming logic or flow of a programming. It controls the flow of a programming statements or flow of a, it changes the flow of execution of C programs. Control statements are basically two types: conditional statements, second one is loops or looping statements. First one is conditional statements, second one is loops or looping statements. So control statements అనేది essay type question, loops and looping statements అనేది essay type question, conditional statements or conditions and conditional statements అనేది essay type questions. So basically 3 essay type questions. ఇవన్నీ కలిపే మనకి కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ కింద వస్తుంది. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ కంపల్సరీ essay type question from unit 2 or something. So second year Bcom, first year Bcom computer applications second semester programming in C and C++. అండ్ అలాగే BA కూడా ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ BA సెమిస్టర్ 1 ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ BA సెమిస్టర్ 1 ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఇన్ C. అలాగే ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ Bcom కంప్యూటర్ అప్లికేషన్ సెమిస్టర్ 2 కూడా మనకి ఇది ఉంది. సో వాట్ ఈజ్ ఎ కండిషన్ అంటే ఏంటి? కండిషన్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఏ combination, it is an expression which is used to form or build with some operands, operators and symbols and constants. Every condition gives two types of outputs or results, either true or false. If the result of the condition is true, do something. If the result of the condition is false, do other statements or execute some other statements. So condition is generally is an expression built with some operator variables or operands or operators and constants. So different types of operators అనేవి మనకు ఉన్నాయి. What are the different types of operators? Arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators. Arithmetic operators are plus, minus, star, slash, exponentiation, like that. And relational operators are less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to. Logical operators means and or not. Logical operators are and or not. ఇవి మనకి ఉన్న operators. So what are conditional operators? Conditional operators are arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are plus, minus, star, slash, exponentiation. Relational operators are less than or equals to, greater than equals to, not equals to. So ఇవి మనకి యూస్ చేస్తాము. వాట్ ఈస్ ఎ కండిషన్? కండిషన్ ఈజ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్. కండిషన్ ఈజ్ ఎన్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ which is used to evaluate or test the given expression. The condition generally, the result or output of the condition is, it gives two types of outputs. First one is true and second one is false. If the condition is true, some set of statements are executed, and if the condition is false, some other set of statements are executed. Another set of statements are executed. So what are control statements or control structures in C language? సో సి లాంగ్వేజ్లో మనకు ఉన్న కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్, ఇది ఎస్ఏ టైప్ క్వశ్చన్ అండి, కంపల్సరీ ఎస్ఏ టైప్ క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రమ్ సెకండ్ యూనిట్. What are the control statements or control structures in C language? There are two types of control statements. First one is conditional statements, conditions or conditional statements. Second one is loops and looping statements. Second one is loops and looping statements. So what are conditions or conditions and conditional statements? If statement, then మనం simple if అంటాం. If else statement, if else if statement. అలాగే what are loops or looping statement? While loop, do while loop, for loop, switch statement. All these are conditions and conditional statements. So next one is if else. So control statement. What is conditional statements? Conditional statements are used to test whether the given condition or whether the given expression is true or false. Means if it is true, then do something. So the first conditional statement is if statement or a simple if statement. The if else statement or if statement. The if else statement can exist in two forms, with or without else. The two forms are if within bracket some condition, some statements. Means if the condition is true, then do the following or execute the following statements. Otherwise simply come out of the if statement. Other form is, second format is if brackets low expression or condition, statements 1 else statement 2. Means if the given condition is true or the given expression is true, execute the set of statements 1, else execute the set of statements 2. So this is the simple syntax of the if or simple if and if else statement. Next is if else statements. So if condition, statement 1, else statement 2. Example is int a comma b. If a is less than b, a is equals to 0, else b is equals to 0. Nested if. What is nested if? Nested if means an if statement in another if statement. Means an if statement may write in another if statement. That is called as nested if. Means one if statement within another if statement. Nested if statements have the following syntax or example. So this is the example for nested if statement. So if else if statement. Next is if else if ladder or if else if statements. So the syntax is if condition 1 statements, else if condition 2 statement 2, else if condition 3 statements 3, last else if statement n. So what is the syntax of if else if statements? If condition 1, do statements 1 or execute statement 1, else if condition is true, condition 2 is true, do or run or execute statements 2, else if condition 3 is true, do statements 3 or execute statements 3, else execute or run statement n. So this is a if else if statements or if else if ladder. If else if ladder or a statement. So what is if else if statement? If else if statement. Another form of if statement is if else if statement. Means if condition 1 is true, then statement 1 are executed. Else if condition 2 is true, then statement 2 are executed. Else if condition 3 is true, then statement 3 are executed. Else means if none of the above conditions are true, then statement n are executed. So this is called as if else if statements. So this is the example of if else if statements. Switch statement. Another important control statement or conditional statement is switch or switch statement. What is a switch statement? Switch statements is used to select only one and is used to select only one value from the given list of values based on the value of the expression or the condition. మీన్స్ అంటే ఏంటంటే స్విచ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అనేది దేనికి యూజ్ చేస్తాము, ఒక వేరియబుల్ కానీ ఒక ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ లేదా ఒక ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్కి కానీ ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ వాల్యూ రిటర్న్ చేసే వాల్యూను ఎంతైతే అవుతుందో దాన్ని బట్టి ఆ వాల్యూని మనము స్టేట్మెంట్ అనేది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తాం. మీన్స్ సింటాక్స్ ఏంటి, స్విచ్ సమ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ కేస్ వాల్యూ 1 స్టేట్మెంట్ 1 బ్రేక్, కేస్ వాల్యూ 2 స్టేట్మెంట్ 2 బ్రేక్, కేస్ వాల్యూ n స్టేట్మెంట్ n break, default. So if first the in the given expression is evaluated, the given expression is evaluated. If the value is 1 means it returns 1 or the value of the expression is 1, then statements block 1 are executed. If value is 2, given expression the value of expression is 2, then statement sequence statements 2 are executed. Else if the value is n, then statement n are executed. Otherwise default statements are executed. This is called as switch statement. Example means, so this is the simple example, like switch some variable I, bracket open, case 0 means some statements are executed, break, case 2 some other statements are executed, break, case 3 some statements 3 are executed, break, default some statements are executed, like that. So switch statement, what is a switch statement? A switch statement is a multiple if statement. It is a multi-valued or a multiple if statement used to select one value or one value based on the some given expression. So nested switch statement. Similarly, we can also use a switch statement within another switch statement, that is called as nested switch statement. Iterations. So as we already discussed, control statements are of two types. First one is conditions or conditional statements. Second one is loops or looping statements. Second one is loops or looping statements or iterations. Iterations means loops or looping statements. So what are loops? There are different looping functions or statements are there in C language. First one is for loop, second one is while loop, third one is do while loop. First one is for loop, second one is while loop, third one is do while loop. So what is while loop? While loop is generally used to repeat or execute a set of statements or a group of statements until and unless the condition or the variable or the expression is true. Means while statement, the while statement is executed or while statement is repeated or executed till the given condition, till the given condition becomes till the given condition is true. Once if the given condition is false, the control will come out of the loop or exit from it, simply exit from the loop. So what is the syntax? While within brackets condition, while within brackets some condition, bracket open, body of the loop or a statement, set of statements or group of statements. So first the given condition is tested or executed. First the given condition is tested. If the condition itself is true, if the given condition is true at first time, the body of the loop or set of statements are executed. Or if the condition is false, if the condition is false, then it simply come out of the loop. Again the loop condition will be tested. Again the loop condition will be tested and checks for whether it is true or false. It will repeat until the given condition is false, the given condition becomes false. So this is a while loop example. So here we are taking some variable n is equals to 10, while n is greater than 0, some statements. So do while loop, another important statement of looping, another looping statement is do while loop. So what is the syntax of do while loop? Do within bracket some set of statements or set of statements or a group of statements, bracket close, while condition. So in the do while loop, first the statements are executed. In the do while loop, first the statements are executed, then only the given condition is tested. So in the do loop, first the given statements are executed first, means minimum one time, then it test for the given condition becomes the set. In the do while loop, first the given statements are executed, and then only it checks for the whether the given condition is true or false. So in what is the main difference between while loop and do while loop? In the while loop, the set of statements are first the given condition is tested and statements are executed, whereas in the do while loop, first the statements are executed, then the condition will be tested. So this is a example for do while loop. Third loop is for loop. So for loop is used to test the mainly used to test the given condition as for loop is mainly used to execute or run a set of statements or a group of statements for a fixed number of times. So whereas it is also works on based on the given condition, some condition. So in for loop is divided into three parts. First one is initialization, condition, and iteration or loop. For loop is divided into initialization, condition, and iteration. Initialization means that in the while in the loops we may use some variable. It is called as index variable or looping variable. First it is initialized in the for loop. So for loop contains three parts: initialization, condition, and iteration. Initialization means it is initialized with some value. So next is condition, means it is tested for some condition, or it is tested for some value, whether it is true or false. And iteration means loop. So for loop, what is for loop? For loop is also a loop which is used to execute or runs a set of statements or a group of statements for a fixed number of times. For loop is divided into three parts: initialization part, conditional part, and iteration or looping part. In the initialization part, we may initialize some index variable or index value. Conditional part, we may give or test some condition, whether it is true or false. Iteration means we may change the value of the index variable or looping variable value, bracket open, some body of the statement or set of statements to be executed. So for loop is executed mainly used to execute or runs a set of statements or a group of statements for a fixed number of times. So this is the example for a for loop. Nested loops. What are nested loops? Means we may write one loop within another loop. Means while loop in another while loop, or for loop in another for loop, like that. They are called as nested loops. Nested means one loop within another loop. So jumping statements. What are jumping statements? Or unconditional statements. They are also called as jumping statements or unconditional statements. Means C supports four types of jump statements: break, continue, return, and go to. These statements transfer control to another part of your program. So first one is break. What is a break statement? Generally these four statements are used within some looping statement. So break means it simply breaks a loop and come out of the loop. Second one is continue. Continue is used to simply ignores the statement after the continue statement. And return is generally used to return some value to the main program. And go to is used to go to unconditionally. Control will go to from one place to another place unconditionally within a program. All these are called as some conditional statements: break, continue, return, and go to. So, what is a break? Break statement is simply used to break or come out of a loop, without any condition tested or without any conditions. It simply, the control will simply come out of a loop. Continue, break, this is the example for break. Continue, what is a continue? Continue means it simply ignores all the statements after the continue word in a loop, and again the loop will be executed or tested for the condition. So, next, this is the example for continue statement. Third one is return. The return statement is generally used to return some value or return something to the called program or main. So, return for statement is generally used in functions. And go to statement. What is go to? Go to statement is called as unconditional transfer of control. Unconditionally transfer of control. It simply the control will goes from one location to another location, or one place to another place without any conditions. So, these are called as control statements. These are called as control statements or conditional statements. It is a compulsory in unit 2 of unit 2. It is a compulsory essay type question. So, it is called as control statements. Control statements are two parts: conditional statements and looping statements. It is a compulsory essay type question from unit 2. Okay, thank you.